Tonight I want to take a second and talk about something that came up in a live chat the other night. In this live chat, another gentleman said something about how he thought that maybe training requirements should be stricter for people to get concealed carry licenses. That people shouldn't just be able to just carry because it's their right. They should have to prove that they are capable of that right. Now, this wasn't from an anti-gunner. This was from someone that is a supporter of Second Amendment rights. He just said something that a lot of people think. I admit I used to think it myself. Now, I'm going to disagree with it on 2 points. And the first point is going to be that I just don't think there's any evidence that it's unsafe for people to not be formally trained for a concealed carry license. I live in a state where there's no requirements. You don't need to have any requirements to get your concealed carry license in our state. You just have to be the right age, be able to write a check for $65, and pass a background check. There's no training whatsoever, no range time, no classroom time, nothing. Not a written test, nothing. And there's other states that have great requirements, 12 hours of training, range time, passing proficiency tests, all kinds of things like that. We don't have any higher rate of accidents with concealed carry weapons than those states do. So obviously the training isn't really being a big factor in what happens. Responsible people are responsible. Whether you make them get trained or not, they're responsible. They're going to learn how to carry their gun. Irresponsible people are irresponsible no matter what you do. Careless people are going to be careless. Even if you train them, chances are they're going to have an accident. So, I haven't seen any evidence that training requirements have caused any big difference in accidents from state to state. So therefore, since the problem doesn't really seem to exist, I can't really support providing a solution for it because it doesn't exist. But if it did exist, then maybe I'd look at providing a solution, but the problem doesn't exist. Now, the second reason I'm going to disagree with that, and I'm going to say this is probably my most important reason, is because it's a matter of freedom. When people are free and when they have rights, there's always going to be someone that abuses those rights. There's always going to be someone that isn't quite capable of handling them. That's just the reality of freedom. That's just the reality of having rights. That doesn't mean you judge everybody by that small percentage that can't handle it. And it's few and far between. I mean, really, really few and far between. In fact, if you look at most of the accidents that occur with firearms, those people didn't even have concealed carry licenses. They don't happen when people are out carrying their guns. They happen when they're at home cleaning them, when they're at the range shooting, or when they're just messing around with them because they're idiots. It doesn't happen when they're concealed carry. It just doesn't happen. But like I say, that fact that people are free to do that comes with certain risks. And it's easy for people to accept freedom when there's no risk. It's when there's risk. That's the real test of your conviction to freedom. When you can stand up and say, I know there's risk to this. There's always going to be that small percentage that can't handle it and do something wrong. But I can accept that because it is worth it to be a free person. That's when your conviction to freedom is really tested. That's when your conviction to freedom is really strong. So in the end, I'm going to say, one, I just don't think there's a problem to solve. And two, it's really easy to believe in freedom when there's no risk. But when there is that risk, that's what makes it real. That's what makes it real freedom. Because people get to stand up and say, I know there's a possibility of something going wrong, but I trust my fellow man. I trust myself. And being free is worth it.